Well, Huskers are getting ready to head out to New Jersey here on Thursday on a short week. Hi, Sean Callahan with HuskerOnline.com. On Tuesday, we talked with offensive coordinator Mark Whipple and defensive coordinator Bill Busch about a lot of different things. In fact, we heard Whipple air it out on a lot of different topics. I thought it was interesting to hear Whipple talk about his relationship with quarterback Casey Thompson, the back and forth exchange they had on the sidelines, and just all of those things that go around that.
On the game day? Yeah, I mean, when I was asking what he was going to have for dinner, reservations for dinner. No, I just, for this offense, it frustrated me. And because there's been, I think, 4 games we've taken the ball and scored the first drive. And then they just act like, well, yeah, okay, you know. I'm like, we don't, nothing against their defense. We don't have this 86 Bears defense, okay? Your job's to score touchdowns. And it's just like, you go 3 plays or whatever, we go 70 yards, and then you just start making mistakes. So, and my frustration a little bit was taken out on Casey, but he knows that. I love him, and that part. And I think you can't do that with everybody, but he handles it really well, and he responded. He responded, and the team responded in the second half, but that's my expectations just seem at times to be higher than our guys that are playing, and that's frustrating to me. And because, hey.
And as Whipple said, as a coach, he's better when his style is a little bit more in your face, like we saw with him and Thompson on Saturday.
In my history, when I walk around being a nice guy, it just doesn't work as well as when I'm a dick. Okay, I don't know why, and that's just what I told the kids on Monday. I said, look, man, I'm down here. Just when I have something across my rear end, guys, we just play better, and that's really what it was like at halftime.
And Whipple is a pro. He understands the situation. He knows if things don't go well in these next few weeks ahead, he's probably not going to be at Nebraska.
I don't know if they really think we can win every game. I don't. So we're good enough, I think. Okay, I'm not a genius, but we can win. We can win 7 games. We can win these games. All right, we already threw away 3 of them. I mean, Oklahoma kicked our rear, but I said, that's the expectation. Is like, hey, not just to go to a bowl game. We can win the West. That's what it is. So you're in first place. Act like it and play like it. So that's. Again, it takes time, but, hey, I'm a realist. If we don't get there, I'm not going to be here anyways. So I told them that. And we win the West, I'll ride Mickey's coattails. But it comes down to those guys playing, and I think they've taken that to heart, and we practiced well these 2 days. So that's, I said, I told them I won't ever BS them. And I like these guys. I said it. And I told them all, I like you, otherwise I wouldn't play you. So,
defensive coordinator Bill Busch, meanwhile, hit on a number of different topics. Most importantly, what jumped out about his team's performance against Indiana.
Well, the thing that stood out from Saturday the most was our number 1 goal. We had 2 goals. Number 1 thing, get lined up and play fast, because there are so many clips on film of teams not lined up. I mean, there was, you saw against Cincinnati, they had a walk-in touchdown because they weren't lined up. It's all over the film. Sometimes there's 14 guys on the film. Sometimes there's 11 on the film, but only 4 of them were lined up. It's all over the place. So we went 100% in alignment of getting lined up. We didn't have any like that. We did not say we played it perfect once we got there, but we got lined up. So that was the thing that transferred over, and then be able to get the calls in. And then we were able to, as the game went along, even though they were going fast, then we were able to call different things. But early in the game, we just went same a lot. So whatever the call was before, we called the same call again. And the kids, that I think, gave them a chance to breathe and get lined up instead of always, because the panic would always come if you're ever looking over to get a call and guess what's going on over here. They're lining up. So that was a part to try to get faster on. So
you say you were lined up right every time?
What's that?
You were lined up right?
Yeah, as far as our cleats were in the ground. Our cleats were in the ground. There might be time like that. I'm sure maybe sometimes simply maybe saw the nickel inside or should have been outside or something like that. But our feet were in the ground. You never went through and just went, oh my God, we're not lined up. Number 2's not covered. 1's uncovered. The tight end, so they got lined up really well in that spot. And then, like I said, there's always maybe some shades or some things that could be better for us, but very happy with that. Let's go 96%, Sybil. That way I don't get myself in a pickle if you find something. Got me.
And let's also not downplay what his special teams group was able to do, particularly under the new coordinator, Joey Connors.
Obviously he was extremely happy. That was a huge play for us in the game, and me and Joey work close on all these things right there, and we have a kind of a plan on how we'd like to get about things. And Coach Connors did a great job with it, with organizing it on the field. We had to try to get best guys in the spot for us right there. But again, Coach Connors deserves all the credit. I'm still heavily involved in discussing things with him to help him behind the scenes, but he runs that part of it. But it was a textbook play of how to block a punt and how to scoop and score like that. The last one that I was part of was in that same end zone, was against I think it was Missouri, and Shanley blocked one, and Adam Ickes ran it in for a touchdown, about the exact same spot. So so the memories popped up on that one. But they talk about energizing the crowd, and then in general the numbers are block a punt, 90% chance you win the game. So far we've blocked 2 punts and we've won 2 games. So that holds true. That'd be 100% simple right now for us.
Bush also brings a unique angle to the game on Friday. He spent a few years coaching for Chris Ash at Rutgers, so he's very familiar with their program and even some of the personnel around the program.
I've never worked with him personally. I know him well enough through a lot of other people. And like I said, first of all, he understands the league really well. He understands the methodology of how to turn a program around, which he's done there before. And that was all done the same way. Because I know a lot of those players, and I worked with those guys when I was at Rutgers, his former players, and it was all about the grit. And so that's what he knows about this conference, and he's very impressive as a coach. Their whole staff is very impressive, and like I said, you just know what you're up against when you play them.
And one player Bush did not coach at Rutgers, but obviously everyone here at Nebraska is familiar with, is quarterback Noah Vedral. He played 4 snaps this past week against Ohio State. Will we see him more going forward this week? That remains the question, but Bush has a great relationship with the Vedral family. Mike Vedral, Noah's father, and is very familiar with him and what they're all about.
Well, I'm sure he'd be extra motivated. You always are to play against a team where you were once part of. This is what I know about the Vedral family across the board. That is some tough dudes. The whole family, he's the same way. If you're a Vedral, all you know is like that. You don't want to fight a Vedral. Okay, they're tough, and so they're really, really tough dudes, and you don't want to and playing against them like that. So we know, like I said, it's going to be a grown man's fight.
The Huskers will have one more practice here on Wednesday. We'll hear from Mickey Joseph then. Then they'll leave. They're scheduled to leave on Thursday at 12:30 with the Huskers in Lincoln. I'm Sean Callahan of HuskerOnline.com.